Nice won that. I did not get to see Regency played as a scrim. That would have been very telling for me. Pittsburgh Knights, though, I haven't had a chance to catch them scrimming. Is this a team that you have watched before, or at least as of recently? Excuse me.
Again?
Have you watched Pittsburgh Knights scrim as of recently?
I haven't seen too much. They don't really give away a lot of their secrets. It's usually just who they're playing against. I see a little glimpse of, and it's not even from their point of view, but you can already see it. Starting off, they go for that M-bar, they go for the play, but they're also getting the points at the bottom as well. They're winning every altercation throughout the entirety of the map. That's a big trade from Toti to take out Dezonide, but they're already rotating over. Sumuns gets taken out by Xploidz. No points being gained, but the position is there. Pittsburgh Knights are going to be the first to that hill once again.
All right, so PK starting off very strong. Without question, Raver with the M-bar has the potential to pop some heads off. One member from Fire and Ice just on the other side of him. That's going to be, okay. So dyslexic and some, I can't even, do I even say it? I don't know. I mean, is that, whatever, man. Take it away, Jacob.
This is going to be a good opportunity. They need to take that elimination and push forward. That does a good spawn. They forced them to spawn outward. Now they're trying to attack some dead time all at the same time. Raver, he's not in the best spot here. They're going to backtrack for a revive, but they need to get Raver out this back end. He only has a little bit of help coming through from Sumuns, so this is a good opportunity to take him out and start to anchor yourself in the spawn point of the next hill. But they leave Raver down, which is good, but they have to attack the hill and try to backtrack to block that spawn. Otherwise, all this work, you're going to see them spawn right below. But no, he actually does get that outward spawn. So that's not going to be good for PK as they try to bounce back into this one. But these weapons are going to be up shortly, so they have an opportunity to get something for this retake.
Yeah, so let's see what PK is going to get. And it seems that they're going to go ahead and try and force the issue on these steps. Sumuns is going to be leading the charge. Raver is going to be just on the opposite side. Monkyz will join into the mix. Now, Monkyz does have that shock. Let's see where he decides to place it. Left side would be best, right? Just take out Dyslexic, reposition Fearzly. I think that would be hugely beneficial. Maybe even save it for the next hill, but 30 seconds is a lot. PK started off great, and now Fire and Ice has managed to at least close out that deficit quite a bit. Monkyz is going to try and put a couple players into the blender. He might be successful. Dyslexic's going to be gone. Raver pushes up onto Toti. Toti's going to be out of the way, and we're deadlocked 60-60.
Let's say go to Toti. That's how you pronounce it. I didn't see what you were talking about at first, but I actually love that name. He's probably sporting it with utmost confidence. New look. Talk about a different experienced team from Fire and Ice after reaching the grand finals at the last major. But once again, that's going to be the second M-bar in the hands of the Pittsburgh Knights. So talk about so many different keys to victory when it comes to control. Power weapon control is one of them, especially if you have a player heating up with it time and time again. Raver is going to get that first kill on the Toti. Monkyz catches out Dyslexic. This is not looking good, and they're going to have that spawn point as well, forcing them out wide. Fearzly doing what he can to stay alive. He is going to escape, but now it's going to be up to this retake attempt coming through. And Frag coming up. What? I didn't get it. Okay, I'll say it's a little short.
Scoreline's still very close. I'm liking how, you know, and this is what we can expect from this entire series, Jacob, is how closely contested it is, brother. I love it. I really do love it. PK retakes that lead. Oh, Dezo misses a shot you think he would hit. Oh no, misses the second. This is the third one going to connect. It does not. Dyslexic takes down Raver. Now Toti's going to push up and take down Dezo. Fire and Ice will get the break on the hill. You'd have to assume maybe, but there's still two more players sitting inside. Toti, a lot more work to be done. Dyslexic's going to pull up, and the hill still is going to be contested. Last one from PK is going to be fighting out. It's going to be Monkyz, and Monkyz, he's going to drop. Team pickups in. Raver goes in for a challenge, but meanwhile, this entire time that PK is getting touches, Fire and Ice isn't getting any points.
And the key right now is, you remember that down they got on the Dezonide, even though they got the elimination? He got them the spawn. Raver immediately spawned back up there, but now the spawns are going to switch. There's so much chaotic action going down. Nobody's able to block it through, as Toti's going to be that player up there. PK knows it. They have to try to catch him on rotation, or he is going to be able to get out alive. You see where the next hill is going to be. They're trying to fight for this rotation. It's only Toti here. He does get angled out. He should fall. Hopefully they don't trade it away. He does get taken down, but the swarm towards the back backside doesn't come without sacrifice. Raver falls as well. Nobody giving up any inches from either one of these two teams. It's fought for every single time. And even though Xploidz gets traded out, it's once again traded out by Dezonide. And the third M-bar of the game goes over to PK once more.
And they're putting it to great use. That M-bar isn't being wasted. A couple shots here and there being whiffed, but that one's going to connect. And any elimination you get, now you're forcing player 8. Look at how far he has to respawn. He's respawning all the way on the opposite side, alongside that of player number 5. It's not making the lives of Fire and Ice easy whatsoever. 3 members will drop off, and the break potential is going to be here. Fire and Ice, does have control, but in the meantime, Pittsburgh Knights, they've got to challenge at least one more time, Jacob. They can't afford to give all these points up.
No, they definitely can't. 40 seconds is a heck of a lot of time, especially when you only know that a third of the game is already out the window. It's about 100 points apiece. M-bar shots being fired out. Xploidz connects with a body shot, makes that player think twice. This way he's going to reposition himself. He knows there's a lot of wide open space if he goes from down here, but a frag grenade. He gets the team kill. Dyslexic falls right after. Only Raver goes down, so an advantage going over to the Pittsburgh Knights. They're going to get themselves this hill, about a 147 to 110 lead, but it's going to be a rotation for Fire and Ice. They're hoping to get to that hill first. Ouch.
Right, Monkyz gonna drop off. Toti does get that fresh shock. And again, shocks and anything that you were able to get is gonna be hugely beneficial for helping break a hill. Now you gotta get through these 2 PK members. Now, if I do remember correctly, last time they were on this hill, PK was able to accumulate quite a few points. So this is the potential once again to do so. Xploidz will in fact drop off. The team pickup's going to be into play, tightly contested, and you can really see the slaying power from both of these rosters being quite tested. Great shots though. That's 3 out of the way, and Raver also falls. That is 4. Fire and Ice will retake this hill, and most importantly, start closing out that deficit. This is going to come down to the wire. We have yet to reach the halfway point, but we have already have basically a full rotation of hills, and more importantly, a ton of contestions and deaths.
Yep, and you saw it was Fearzly backed up just far enough to steal that spawn away. With all those points going down, the M-bar is coming up. Dezonide does not see him coming. He gets caught slipping, which basically gives up that M-bar, at least what could be that beginning control. Toti's pushing up, tries to catch somebody off guard, but Raver as precise as possible. He gets the Lancer damage, gets that first elimination. Xploidz trades it out. Raver lands a shot, but he needs to continue to go forward. This is team. They're trailing some points, and even more are going over. So this is where, with only 20 seconds left on that hill, they need to set up for the next one. Meanwhile, Fire and Ice, they need to put this pressure on and advance forward. You know where the next hill is going to be because you see PK setting up for it.
Yeah, PK setting up. There should be the first team there. Fire and Ice has to find a way to kind of break through. It's not going to be easy. PK has been pushing them to the brink, making their lives very difficult. Raver is going to have that M-bar, and he's going to put it to great use. Fearzly is gone. And I have a funny feeling he's going to connect on the Xploidz eventually. As soon as he pops up his head, Monkyz is going to be able to out-angle Dyslexic and force the issue onto Toti. And again, PK's been doing this pretty consistently, just shutting. When PK gets established, Fire and Ice has a very difficult time breaking through. And look at this hill specifically, Jacob. The line of sight you have is just incredible. Fire and Ice, by the time that, like, for example, Xploidz, if he push up those steps, he's just going to be peppered with Lancer shots. And Monkyz with the shock, he's going to shut down that left side. It's going to make the job even harder.
One alleyway is going to be fumbling out. You need to make sure you're getting those chain revive, but the Lancer fire from PK. The team fire, the shotgun fire, doesn't matter what it is, it's all on point. They get those eliminations, they're gonna net themselves a hill, and with 40 seconds left, this is where they need to push out, block that spawn, push out, get ready for the next. Because yes, they might overtake, but they're gonna be rewarded, what, 20, possibly 30 points. Meanwhile, you're setting yourself up what could be 75 points. You see those players in towards the middle, that's gonna be Raver, that's gonna be Sumuns. Everything they do here is bonus. All this time being wasted on the hill is another set of bonus time for the Pittsburgh Knights, but they need to be careful. These eliminations could cost them right now. I talked about it. That spawn point, they could spawn on next. Let's say I didn't tell you so.
Yeah, player 6, he's already setting up. Now, this is going to be a big hold from him. Who's that going to be? That's going to be Fearzly. Great push. Almost takes down Raver. Toti was helping off from a distance, but either way, Dyslexic up close and personal. If he can get down Sumuns, that's going to be big, but the Lancer fire is going to be returned, and Monkyz will get yet again a fresh in-bar. PK has had the M-bar basically every single time it spawned up, minus once, which I believe Fire and Ice was able to get it themselves. And that is a valuable piece that Fire and Ice needs to stop allowing. Pittsburgh Knights to get into their possession. Fearzly tried to challenge Monkyz. He knew he needed to. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get him. Dezo throws out the flashbang on the ground. Desperation move. Either way, the break's not happening. Fire and Ice may be contesting, but they're not gaining control.
Big shots. Dezonide gets the player full red. Fearzly trying to sneak one. He gets two, actually, to try to get this hill. There's 50 seconds left on this hill. He's going to spot the next players out. And you know, since they spawn there, chances are they're going to continue to spawn on that side of the map. So it shouldn't be a secret where they're rotating from, especially since you see Toti's going to call out where he's spawned. And that's why I talk about knowing that spawn system is so important. You're going to be able to figure out where they're coming from and be able to set up defensively before they get there. Big shots from over the top. Dezonide goes down, but not getting cleaned up just yet. It actually turns and burns. He regrets that one. Gets taken out. From PK, this is their opening. This is their opportunity. But Dezonide, he gets forward all by himself. Xploidz makes a big play. Him and Dyslexic working together. This is the 300, folks. We got ourselves a close game.
Excellent play. That was just about to say, Dyslexic, dip out. Help your team for the fresh hill. Leave Xploidz back for the trash time. No problem in doing so. You're going to need to definitely defend your own on this next hill. This next hill is going to be so huge for setting you up for late game and potentially getting you just within striking distance of the 300-point mark. You can't win off this one, but you can get very, very close. Great spacing from Toti. Look at the PK members. Know where they can go. They are getting peppered. They are dropping off like flies. Even so, a couple still stands, but is it going to be enough to make an impact? Sadly, it is not. Fire and Ice, that much closer to victory.
That's going to be a big hill. They don't got the spawn point, though, even though these players do spawn on the other side of the map. They're putting multiple members over there to try to push him back. With this M-bar being up, this is going to be a must-have. I think that's 4 for 4, possibly 5 for 5 when it comes to M-bars in the control of the Pittsburgh Knights. And this is something they didn't have before when trying to make this push. 40 seconds left. That's going to be a trade, 1 for 1. They need to neutralize this point gain. That's going to be step number 2. And there goes trade for trade coming through. He needs to get this revive. Hopefully Sumuns does get cleaned up in that time. So they're going to solidify themselves a hill. But they're only going to tie this game up or maybe be plus 10. I did my math a little wrong. It's going to be 256 if they get this time uncontested.
It's going to be very close. It's going to be very close without question, right? I mean, it does come down to the next, which I expected it to be so. Fire and Ice is going to go ahead and back off this hill. Honestly, not a bad play. Give it up. I mean, really, give it up.
The next hill in the middle.
I don't know. It can't be because you can see where they're rotating. So I think it's going to be over.
King of the Hill, I know it would. That's what I'm saying. I'm still learning it myself, folks. Just like you guys, me and Reflections are trying to figure out what the strategies are for these teams. It's actually over on the side. That's going to be crucial. There's not a lot of time left. 52 seconds for the Pittsburgh Knights. 54 for Fire and Ice.
Fire and Ice needs to rotate. They're going to allow a 3v1 on a player 7. It's going to be a very difficult spot for them to be. Plus, you have Monkyz who has the M-bar. Look at that, just missing the head of Dyslexic, trying to shoot through the bush. But either way, what a nade to take down Monkyz and Sumuns. Now Raver tries to answer back, taking down Dyslexic. But even so, Fire and Ice within striking distance of taking this map number 1. It would be absolutely critical for setting themselves up for the remainder of this series. PK's got to get a break.
I feel like I'm watching New Year's countdown right now with how close this is. 21 seconds remaining. A down coming through. Xploidz getting eliminated. Nobody able to clean it up. But Pittsburgh Knights, they're getting that last laugh, but they did not get the spawn. There's still ample time left. Pittsburgh Knights do not win with this hill, so Fire Knights have to make this perfect decision. All 4 of them get the spawn towards the top side of the map. There's still enough time left for them to win this if they can get in the hill, but by the time they fight for this, even if they win, they will not be victorious.
PK would be at about 287 if they were flawless on this hill, but it looks as if Fire and Ice is finally making a break for it. They're going to be able to be successful. 2 players remain. Oh, great turn on from Fearzly onto Sumuns. That's what he needed. Fire and Ice doesn't win off this hill, but they're going to be dangerously close by the time it's over.
Oh, that kill on the Raver. I'm just hoping that kill on the Raver wasn't too soon to where he spawns on the other side of the map. You see where the hill is going to be. Yes, he goes spawns the spawn, so it's not too bad. Xploidz quick to burn, quick to turn, getting the revive, or at least almost looked like he almost needed the revive. Pittsburgh Knights, even though they're down a man, they're not slowing down just yet. Well-placed flash is going to buy some time, get the revives as well. Raver goes down, Sumuns gets one, he goes down as well. Monkyz falls, and that's going to be it. Fire and Ice close out map number 1 in a nail-biter fashion to take a 1-0 lead in the series.
Nail-biter fashion, best way to put it, Jacob. Through and through, every single hill tightly contested. This was definitely one of the best controls we've had as of yet. It finishes, actually, you know what, funny enough, it finishes 300 to 268. The very last series, Rise versus Oxygen, map number 1, where we had Regency control, ended 300 to 268. So 2 Regencies back-to-back, Jacob, finish in literally the same exact scoreline and almost in the same exact way. Let's not forget how close it was for Oxygen, right? They just about made that comeback before Rise was able to close it out. So 2 series back-to-back, same map, same game mode, same scoreline, 300, 268. Whew. Phenomenal way, man. Jacob, it was incredible. But let's talk about it. PK, F&I, closely contested, but F&I gets the break. It came down to those 2 final hills.
Yeah, and honestly, you got to give it up to Fire and Ice. Like I said, at one point, what was it, 4 for 4, almost 5 for 5 of M-bars in the hands of the Pittsburgh Knights. Even though they were getting kills in some situations, it just simply wasn't enough. That goes to show the positioning from Fire and Ice, where they're going off of rotations, and maybe even a little bit how they're getting the eliminations was definitely a deciding factor here in this series. But if you guys go ahead and watching, we got an update. If this does go a map number 5, that series that we showed earlier on, it is going to be a tomb execution map number 5, but that's if we get there. But the way this one is going, 32 points separating map number 1, I feel like we might get it. I might get my wish.
Might get your wish indeed. I don't know. We'll see how the next one goes. We do know PK execution. Oh, they're absolutely incredible. Let's not forget, you know, the history they have on that. Plus, also, you look at the previous tournaments, they have done so very well. When in previous tournaments, specifically talking about, you know, well, not necessarily the grudge match, okay, United PK, we saw that grudge match caught a hot 3-0 within 30, 45 minutes. The whole grudge match was over with. Wasn't necessarily really a grudge at all. But overall, though, when it does come to F&I and PK through Emergence Days specifically, and these guys go the distance. Actually, let me go back in my notes for you so I can, you know, quote it correctly, because I know it went down 6-5 for the first execution that they played against each other. It was a couple of weeks back. PK ended up facing off against Fire and Ice, and this was for Emergence Days, I believe, 20. Let me go ahead and take a look. Here it was. Emergence Days, Season 3, Week 22. F&I PK. They end up playing Gridlock Execution 6-5. PK takes the victory only by 1 round. But we are going to be heading into checkout. Let me see if they did play on checkout at all. And they actually did. So the last time Fire and Ice and PK played on checkout, which is going to be coming up next for execution, PK won 6-2. 6-2. They played it very well. And I want to bring up something for you, Jacob. I know I talk your head off, man. I'm sorry, man. You know, I'm always talking.
I love it.
No, I'm sorry, brother. But
the podcast, I'm telling you, it might come out, just cover everything esports from reflections and PR.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got to flex like that, too.
Give them the flex. All right. But seriously, though, Jacob, when it comes down to Hive and Team Queso, all right, what was good about Team Queso? Their aggression, right? Bronny was just tearing it up off the first couple of rounds on that same very map. But then Hive slowed it down and controlled the pace of the map. That's what I fear is going to happen here. Fire and Ice, they're going to be comfortable going just balls to the wall, full send it. But PK is going to know how to shut them down and pace it out better.
That's one of the things that I said. That's aggression right now coming out from Fire and Ice is actually looking good. The momentum is there, but it is, I talked about 32 seconds separating. That's not a lot of time around. That's not even half of a hill to be realistic. So going into map number 2 on checkout execution, we already seen this play out with what was a Hive and Team Queso already early on in the series. So it's going to be very, very similar. You're going to have 3 players over towards that checkout side. Smokes and flashes will pop off like the 4th of July. And it's about who makes that quick move, who finds that window of opportunity. We've seen aggressive shotgun plays. We've seen aggressive Lancer plays, surprisingly, where they push out wide and try to get that player down in that alleyway, or in the aisle, I should say, since it is a checkout. So it's going to be very interesting, the tug of war, the push and pull. And then on top of that, the frag grenades, that 1v1 on the other side of the map. We've seen players time and time again, whether it be Monkyz, whether it be Sumuns, whether it be Dyslexic, they go off in these 1v1 scenarios. So as much as I predicted the Pittsburgh Knights to win, like I said, map number 5, this is going to be one of our closest series to start off Pro League, I think, ever in the debut of a Pro League.
You know what makes things interesting, though, Jacob, for me personally? Fire and Ice already starts off great, right? Winning map number 1, you know, huge props to them. If they can somehow, and I say somehow because I heavily favor Pittsburgh Knights in this in any execution, to be quite honest with you. Fire and Ice has incredible slaying power, but given the history, I don't have faith that they can win despite them being my team pick to win the series, I don't think they can win execution, quite honestly. However, if they can somehow win this execution and lead 2-0, after getting second place in the spring major and already beating Pittsburgh Knights in Escalation, despite it being on Training Grounds PK's best map, there's a very real chance FNI could walk away with a 3-0 victory. What a statement.
That's like the one situation I said it wouldn't be. So I'm kind of hoping at least I'm right there, even if Fire Knights win. I could be wrong in the predictions.
Yeah.
But I mean, that shows why you have that trophy in the background. I almost figured it'd be right there next to you in the camera. You got your own trophy.
If Fire Knights wins, I'm grabbing it and I'm giving it a kiss. I'm just saying, because I'll be leading the charge once again. Pour some champagne in it and take a drink. I thought about it, but then again, whoever wins next has to take that. So I don't want to send you just like a champagne laden like trophy that's all sticky. You know what I'm saying?
I can just imagine receiving a sticky trophy. Like, what is this?
I don't want to do that to you guys. All right, I'll be honest with you. So I'll maybe water. It would be the most I'll ever do out of it. All right, well, let's see how this turns out. As I said, I agree. I think Fire Nice is going to be very aggressive here. PK though is going to be more effective at pacing it out. You have Dyslexic on the other side. He's going to be in a 1v versus Sumuns. Dyslexic wins that. Now Dyslexic, it opens up a plethora of opportunities to go on the flank and out angle and really Lancer out PK. This should be an FNI round, and it will.
Yeah, yep. They're just getting funneled right now. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. It's like putting a car in a compactor. They're just getting crushed. And like I said, I even said it, Sumuns, Dyslexic, Monkyz, Dyslexic. He's going to be that guy in the 1v1. Maybe you might switch it up and put Fearzly over there. But right now, Dyslexic, time and time again, when it came to Escalation, he was that player on that side of things. And I talk about, look at the route these players are taking to get to their positioning. I talk about burning through the middle of the map might not be as good, but so far, if you saw earlier series, it's actually that top floor when you have your right hand angle, or at least you can go ahead and use it to your advantage as long as they don't run a trick strat.
All right, well, let's see how it works out. Once again, Dyslexic's going to be the big factor, but off the rip, Fearzly drops off. PK being a little bit more aggressive this time. Xploidz with the Incend could be instrumental. Oh, he can't use it. He tried. He threw that Hail Mary out there, but it didn't connect, and honestly, would it have even have counted? Overall, 25 seconds. PK said round number 1 was a fluke. Doesn't even matter. Get it out of here.
Yeah. I like these players that are playing the one. I'm putting so much shine in these 1v1 scenarios because typically if you guys go back to history and check out Gears of War 3, those players kind of, their job was to kind of stalemate. It wasn't necessarily to fight. It was just to make sure the nades were out of the enemy team's hands. Dyslexic right now, Sumuns, they're fighting it. They're making sure that they put themselves in the best possible positioning to not only win those grenades, but use those grenades to effect the fight. But big shots from Xploidz. He goes for the kill blow, taken out by Raver. Another one going down. Fearzly falls, taken out as well. Toti's gonna be by himself, going against Instance, tries to go for a sneaky kill blow play by going head first. I said sneaky, but he's just trying to all out push him, try to get one, but he ends up done. 25 seconds in that round. That's gonna be a quick one in the books for PK.
Woo, and again, PK, you gotta favor them. You've got to favor them. You got Monkyz on your team, all right? Monkyz is just the utmost confident player. Stats-wise, he is the best statistical player in this lobby. Don't quote me on that, but I think he is, all right? Dyslexic might be able to slay up with them, but that's not even a factor. You got Monkyz who's down low. Dyslexic's in a totally different world at the start, okay? So Monkyz, even as well as Dyslexic plays in that 1v spot, if you Raver, I mean, look, Raver just pushes through the smoke. No worries at all. This is just great stuff from PK. Fire and Ice is not even keeping this competitive over the past couple of rounds.
Yeah, the way I saw a player kind of push up the aisle towards plat side, Toti going out wide, I'm almost wondering is Fire and Ice on the same page? Halfway to that 6-point scoreline, PK looking to bounce back after that map number 1 loss. And honestly, this is dominating fashion. 32nd round yet again. I need to see something out of Fire and Ice, whether you do a 2-2 split strategy, you do some sort of Lancer strategy, something needs to change on the side of Fire and Ice, because right now they're just taking advantage of almost every aspect of the game.
They've got to answer here. I don't want to see PK with the 4-1 lead. I think it's going to be a reality, but it's definitely something FNI just doesn't need. Monkyz will be marked out, but the concern is no, Raver has been marked, excuse me. He's going to be finished off. Great headshot. Does Xploidz already have the long shot? Well, yeah, he does. No, Toti has it. So Oh, it's already over. Never mind. I was trying to break that all down, Jacob.
21.
And it was 21.
It's just happening too. It's just happening too fast. You blink, you missed it, and this just
so
goes
crazy
to show.
sometimes,
This is checkout execution. Like I said, some maps will play a little bit different. You see Clock Tower, it has that opportunity to stalemate. The only thing that's really going to stalemate checkout execution is if you just don't fight at the checkout while another team does. And right now, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Both of these teams, we know how aggressive they can be. We talked about it throughout the map break. They're not going to let up off the gas. You see well-placed flash. Xploidz does take a lot of damage. Raver goes down. Are they going to be able to clean it up? Monkyz goes down as well. They get taken out. The aggression defense coming out from Fire and Ice. Fearzly going to be the thorn in the side. Toti gets that sniper. Not able to net a shot, but Dezo is quick on his heels. Finally, they're going to get him down, leaving. I do believe that was one player all by himself. Sumuns. I didn't even get to finish that. 29 seconds. Multiple rounds under 30 seconds here in this map.
So Fire and Ice, they answer back rounds 5 and 6. You're watching it. The rounds are very fast paced. They're quick. But what is the deciding factor? Why is FNI coming back and wins 2 rounds in a row? Is it simply as just getting that first blood?
Yeah, first blood is huge, especially on execution. Not as big on checkout execution because how close it is. You can easily get double killed. But if you're on the same page, you roll back, you learn to play defensively, it could go your way. But big shots being fired, and there it goes. Takes the bait. Dezonide gets one. That's going to be first blood. And this is where I'm talking about. You get first blood. You're able to use your numbers. But oh my God, how did they let that happen? It's like shooting fish in a barrel. That's like a scene from 300. It doesn't matter if it's 300 versus 10,000. If you put yourself in a narrow passageway, you have to funnel it through. They couldn't even trade off shots without risking kill each other. And you almost wonder why. Why would you push down that aisle?
Just getting that meme in my head, like, why? Why you gotta do that, man? Come on, guys, tough break for PK. 4-3, Fire and Ice, 3 in a row. And are they going to slow down? They definitely got the momentum. The thing about execution, though, the rounds happen so quick. You know what I'm saying? So fast that you really don't have time to catch a breather. It's just one round into the other. And a team that gathers momentum, it normally is the team that just doesn't slow down. You'd have to, oh, he tried so hard to get out of there with his life. I don't think he backpacked a long shot either. Not that it matters, though. There's only gonna be one player left. It's gonna be Xploidz. Xploidz going for the push, please. Make a clutch play, someone. But he tried.
Yeah, he definitely tried, but another 32 seconds round. And that's going to be, if you guys are not familiar with Gears of War 3, like I said, the only real strategy to really break up this type of quick gameplay is sending your numbers outright. But since it's 4 rounds each, neither team wanted to switch it up too much. That's why you see kind of the switching between the smokes, the flashes. You see usually a big flash in the center towards that aisle. That way they try to get that early stun. If they net themselves a shot and a stun, that's when you see players try to go in and get aggressive. Ooh, they're switching it back up.
A very important round. One team is going to be on map point. We'll see who it's going to be. Traded off, though. It's going to be a 3v3 currently. Xploidz finds an opportunity to sneak up, and Dezo spots him out. The angle is there, and another player has been knocked. Toti will pick up the long shot, and Sumuns left up to his own devices. Now, you can tap up. It's risky leaving a player to bleed out, but end result is not going to be well for Pittsburgh Knights. Fire and Ice, map point. Not serious point, but map point.
Yep. And they're going up 2-0. I didn't think I was going to see a 3-0, but Fire and Ice ready to shut me up. Maybe I need to go get my jersey out of the closet and pretend like I've been on their side the whole time.
No, you can't do that. It won't reflect in the scoreline anyway. I'm about to be 4 out of 4 tonight. I'm just saying. Not that it's about me.
I'm like, you lost me calling them Blazes friends. Wait till next week.
All right,
you're now the enemy.
I'm always the enemy for some reason. It is what it is. You know, my persona on cast, I guess, is arrogant. I don't know, even though it's not really me getting too deep with it, man. Blaze said it's not that deep. All right, I just heard him. Hey, PK, F and I. Still 4 players up on both sides. Dyslexic has the nades, and Sumuns is gone. 4v3. Fire and Ice has a very real chance to take this. Dyslexic, though, pushing up very aggressively, throws out both of his nades. He's going to lose his life. Either way, Monkyz for the map. Can he stay alive? Pull off the 1v3. If there's anybody that can do it, it's going to be him, but he's getting lancered out, and Fire and Ice will win it in the way of 6-4. Xploidz snubs him out to let him know. And Fire and Ice leads the series 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0. I definitely didn't predict this one to go down, but one step away from closing out this series, and they go back to a familiar escalation. And this is what I was talking about on the side of Fire and Ice, though. Once you make that major, once you make that grind finals, it does things to you. But can they continue to put the pressure on a PK? Stay tuned, because we'll find out after this quick commercial break.
Welcome back to the match of the week. We have Pittsburgh Knights facing off against Fire and Ice. And man, I really, I guess, kind of discredited Fire and Ice a bit too much. I expected Pittsburgh Knights to be incredibly strong on execution, which they were. But once Fire and Ice caught just momentum, they didn't slow down, Jacob.
Yeah, I thought I was going to see a Godzilla versus King Kong style matchup, but right now I'm seeing just Fire and Ice. I wouldn't say just dominate, because I feel like dominate's too strong of a word, but come up clutch time and time again. Any single time I think Pittsburgh Knights are having a moment of greatness, shines of what could be another championship squad, Fire and Ice just completely take over. And this makes me answer or ask those same questions we were kind of asking during the major when they weren't as strong as we typically see. What is going wrong on the side of the Pittsburgh Knights? Down 2-0, you don't have much time to figure it out in the series.
You really don't. And I have to ask the question for you. You know, when it does come to execution, momentum is a very real thing. But I kind of mentioned just how fast-paced the rounds really are. You don't have a chance to kind of recuperate. And once the team starts catching fire, it's so hard to shut them down. Is that a real factor with how fast-paced it can be?
Yeah, especially if you're one of those teams that don't have a lot of that mental stamina, that endurance to go the whole 9. And I say 9 because, you know, used to seeing the round number 7s. In GB, you would see round number 9s. Now, what with 6 rounds, we're going to see some round number 11s. You have to be ready to go the distance. We've seen it in Escalation. We're seeing it in Execution. It just takes a whole different skill set. And right now, Fire and Ice, on the back of their aggression, they're not giving these teams, or at least in this case, the Pittsburgh Knights, a chance to recover. They're not giving them a chance to adapt, so they're just firing all cylinders. It's like oxygen. This is going to be that moment for the Pittsburgh Knights. Not only do they have to win this match, I think they have to win this match and build that momentum on into the next one. Otherwise, it'll be a 3-1 or 3-0 if they don't win it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, and you also have to think, I mean, even at this point, if Pittsburgh Knights does win, which, by the way, this is their best map, at least when it comes to Escalation, I think, at least. I know they started picking Asylum towards the tail end, but I think they're just a great training ground team. I really do. I think Fire and Ice can absolutely go toe-to-toe with them, but I don't want to, again, discredit Fire and Ice as more than I need to, because I just did it and they proved me wrong. You know, again, they're my pick to win the tournament, but either way, or excuse me, the series. But let's, I digress. Pittsburgh Knights has Charlie and Bravo locked in place, and it's a 2-2 split. So at this point, Fire and Ice is looking to battle with the exact same numbers as PK. But when do they make that move? You'd have to think shortly.
Yeah, they can't let too much time go out the window before they put themselves in a hole to where, I wouldn't say they get desperate since this is the early portions of the game, but they begin to have to make forced moves. They can't plan everything out. Fearzly does go down. He does get taken out, and that's going for the hill that they already have under their control for the Pittsburgh Knights. Toti gets taken out, trying to flank through the middle. It's just not looking good. His last member alive is going to be Xploidz. Already 2 hills, looking like they're going for a triple cap domination. Can he survive? No, he cannot. Not making me wait long for that answer. With a triple cap domination here in just a few short moments. Fearzly, he needs to get a reset. He needs to have a miracle happen. He's going to get neither, as him and Toti get shut down. 1:41, longer than an execution round, but they make it happen in the end.
They definitely did, and they looked pretty in control the entire time. Oh no, Fire and Ice doesn't have a kill across the board. I think with this 1.5 minutes, you would expect with no kills across the board for that round to be 30 or 40 seconds. That's actually pretty. So Pittsburgh Knights, even though they win that in 1.5 minutes and the round elongates and extends, Fire and Ice couldn't get a single elimination. That's a rare sight.
Especially with how well they've been playing already and how aggressive we know they can be. So it just shows the Pittsburgh Knights, you can't count them out at any moment, but thing can be said with Fire and Ice, especially like I always talk about, the experience you gain from that major, reaching that grand finals is just something that is almost priceless at some points. But Raver going down, Dezonide going down as well. Big shots over the top. 3 players from the Pittsburgh Knights just wiped off of the face of the planet as they're going to just go ahead and decap in the neutral hill, or at least the home hill of PK, while simultaneously trying to attack the neutral.
All right, domination attempts starting to come through. Player 4, Toti, forced to back off. Not a bad play. It was the only play, really. He's got to maintain his spot. Being an overlook is going to be much more valuable than just giving away his life for free. Dyslexic dancing around, tries to make it happen. Fearzly, though, comes out of the shadows and just about pulls off a heroic move. And quite honestly, it was still heroic. I mean, he picked up at least a couple of players. That was big. If Toti would have stayed alive in that moment, man, that would have been just a perfect execution for Fire and Ice. But ultimately, PK does regain control of Overlook. Now they're looking to lock in Bravo, but Xploidz just comes and blindsides Dezo. The call-out not there. You'd have to assume the communication not coming through. And how aggressive are these guys from FNI? They are flying at PK.
Yep, Sumuns gets marked out. They know he's full red. I know he got called out as well. He doesn't even make it around the corner. Dezonide doing what he can. They got a Wolfpack. They got to get this elimination. They got to get this player out of here. Dezonide goes down again, cleaned up by Xploidz. Somebody needs to stop him. There goes step number 1, but are you going to be able to get the hill in time? No, you are not. So all that work in the laning portions of the round, you're not able to come up clutch. So 2 rounds in a row, I think went 1 minute and 41. And that shows how evenly matched it is, even though the scoring line is leaning 2-0 in the FNI favor.
You go from a minute and a half round where you don't pick up an elimination to a round number 2 where you just dominate and decimate Pittsburgh Knights. Like, I don't get it. I really don't sometimes. Gears is built different.
I feel like sometimes just, you know, I know you won the predictions, but the past few splits, I feel like it's not for us to get. Us casters, it's not for us to get. Our predictions don't matter to these players.
No, it doesn't. I know it doesn't. I think I messaged Explosive one time and I said, man, I'm sorry that, you know, I'm always predicting against you. And he goes, man, predictions are predictions. We don't care. You know?
And in some cases, it fuels these players. Like Praise, when they were going to that undefeated streak, Gears of War 4 Optic Gaming, how hated they were and how everybody wanted them to lose, that fueled him beyond belief to play even better, to have a better record. You even saw them go, I do believe, winless, not winless, but undefeated in maps. Triple cap domination for the Pittsburgh Knights. They sneak another one through. 2 straight rounds. This is looking good. I say 2 straight rounds, but back and forth. 2 straight rounds won by the opponent. 2 of them 141. This one being 33 seconds. So PK throwing an audible at him.
All right, so very close. Last round of the first half. It's been a very quick escalation so far. I know both teams are very, very ready to play Escalation. I think, you know, honestly, some teams tonight, I don't think they practiced Escalation at all. I think they put more emphasis on you know, practicing Control. I think Control was the main game, or excuse me, the main mode that some of these teams in Pro League just practiced and really tried to hit home. And they kind of neglected Execution and they neglected Escalation. Escalation's still in rotation. You need to practice that. You need to scrim it. I know you played it for all of Gears 5 competitive, but it still is a critical game mode, the swing game mode. And I hope Fire and Ice and PK have been practiced, and I think they have, right? I mean, you can tell by the performances. We're going to have a big 3v3 battle for Overlook, and this very well could determine who takes either a quick round or at least sets themselves up nicely.
Yeah, and it's already a map, training grounds, Escalation. Both teams very, very familiar. This is a continued chess match for these 2 teams. Dyslexic going it a little short, not enough firepower on that arm. He's getting pressed. He's getting flashed. He's getting taken out by Sumuns. He's pressing forward. He doesn't know that player's hiding there. Lancer fire and a shotgun shot from Toti. They find another player out of position. It's going to be Dezonide, but Monkyz there to help at the right time to make sure they solidify the hill. Now Pittsburgh Knights going for a triple cap domination, trying to get 2 in a row in the books. Dyslexic needs to prolong some time. A shot grenade is going to create separation. I don't think he's going to touch it, but no, I didn't even see in the minimap. Fearzly bought some time, gets the decap. This could be a miracle.
Could absolutely be a miracle. And if Fire and Ice can tie this up, this would be massive heading in. But it's not going to happen now. 3 members wiped off Toti. All he can do is sit and watch as PK takes a 3-1 lead. And a big impact, or the big takeaway from that last round, was the big 3v3 battle for Overlook, right? That is now going to take place every single time in the second half, albeit if we might see maybe, you know, like pull off a Rise moment or PK pull off a PK PK moment where they opt to just ignore the neutral and then go all the way home hill to home hill. But now that seems like an impossibility, as down in hell, we're going to have a long shot. Interestingly enough, let's see how that plays an impact.
Yeah, actually, throughout the course of training grounds, I like that middle placement more and more and more when it comes to a team just trying to separate the fight, trying to create something new. As you see, Xploidz, who will always be that leader of the charge when it comes to precision weapons and fire and ice. It's almost like spaghetti and meatballs, and he goes in, gets it, but can he get out? That's going to be the key. You see them surrounding him. They're not wanting to get this one out for free, and they take him out, and they get both of the kills. Luckily for them, it comes with sacrifice. Raver and Sumuns both fall, so even though they didn't get out with the sniper, it's not going to be all PK all the way to start off this round.
And Fire Knight's going to be able to take E, and that's going to be with the help of Dyslexic. Fearzly moves in. He's got to be quick, though. PK boys are trying to push him back to the brink. Decap already locked in. Dezo, though, hops out, Lancer out, but he is going to be replaced by 2 more players from PK. So this is not one by any means from Fire and Ice. Dyslexic is going to try and hit some couple shots on the Monkyz. Great damage and a great elimination will allow Fire and Ice to recover the neutral. Sumuns in no man's land by himself, and the shock makes his life very difficult. Raver also finished off, and Fire and Ice has absolute dominant control. And Dyslexic, question mark, you're down 2 rounds and you're already throwing out the Batista.
He don't care. He don't care, man. And that almost leads me. I wasn't going to ask the question. I was going to wait till after because it almost includes players not in this match. But Dyslexic has to be one of the best players in the game when it comes to movement. I think him, Powers, Monkyz, probably very few players can move like those players in the category. It almost makes me want like end of season awards, voted on by pro players, voted on by the casters, so that way we can see who's the best in the category from their peers. I want something like that. Can we make it happen? I don't know, but if you guys don't make it happen, I'll make it happen.
All right, fair enough. Hey, this push from PK is very important. If Pittsburgh Knights does not win this Overlook fight now, they're going to have one more desperation push left. That's all they're going to have, and they're going to have to make it count. If Fire and Ice wins this round is all but theirs. Xploidz, though, will fall. The Lancer Fire and the pressure still being applied to PK. The hill will be broken, but will it be broken in time? I don't think so. Fire and Ice should still have the win condition, and they have a decision to make. Do we want to play offensively? And, oh, no, go! Toti tried to go for the no-scope. I thought he was going to hit it, but he doesn't. And I believe LONGSHOT was down on the ground. PK, though, I don't think we're going to pick it up unless it was backpack. No, it was backpack. Excuse me. Fire and Ice should take this round. They parked the bus, but PK, like I said, have one more push left.
One final attempt
player
has
3
to come through perfect. But honestly, if they get the elimination, but actually E's being broken uncontested, 2 players getting taken out. Fire and Ice with this double hill points, going to have that to 5 seconds. This one is definitely over for this round. Fire and Ice going to win their 2nd round in this map. But as you can see, they still trail overall 3-2 in this series. But this is the 2nd half. That sniper did change things up. This is how you build momentum for a fight that they haven't seen so far.
All right, so that long shot makes a difference. You said you become a fan over it over time, right? More so than just placing it over on an overlook, you know, and just kind of having that standard fight for the neutral, your standard fight for long shots, which Fire and Ice wasn't confidently winning by placing that long shot down in hell. Honestly, was huge for them, and it changed the fight enough, at least for them to take that last round. Maybe they can win the future rounds. We'll definitely have to see how that's going to unfold. One thing is for certain, though, PK will have a retro eventually. They'll focus on that a little bit later. Now your focal point has to be on this long shot, which they didn't get position on last time. Oh, no, Dezo misses the stun, unfortunately. Not going to play too much of an impact, but that could have been his breakaway to get inside.
Just letting this breathe for a moment. Smoke's going out, lots of damage being dished. Xploidz goes in, but he was marked out, so they know that he was, I would say, a little weak at first. Almost gets caught slipping, trying to go for a cheeky shot on the Monkyz towards the top side of the map. Oh, and he gets it, goes back to the scene of the crime, gets himself the kill, trying to go for that triple cap domination. Exactly, the only player alive right now is going to be Raver. He has to get the elimination, but he's going to have to go through 2, possibly 3 players to make it happen. He gets downed out, 3 players in that. What?
Wait. Yeah,
what?
That's a bit questionable. That's a bit questionable. That's okay though. They'll still lock into domination, right? Yeah, but hey, maybe they're having fun. New meta.
I'm like, you should have seen what? Like, what is going on right now? Where did the shot come from? Well, I was like, why did Pittsburgh throw it? But no, it was actually I still don't know why Pittsburgh. Don't play with your food, guys. Don't play with your food. This is only map number 1 or map number 2. You lost map number 1 in a nail-biting fashion. You gotta make sure to close this one out. This is map number 3, isn't it?
Yes, sir. This is all or nothing.
I said they lost map number 1. I said it.
They lost map number 1 and 2.
But that's what I'm saying. Don't play with your food, man. Don't play with your food. That's what I'm saying. Execution was so quick. We had 20-second rounds. We had 30-second rounds. I've taken poops longer than that.
Stop it. You're ridiculous. What? All right, check it out, man. Got a long shot. We got the M bar down, Jacob. You ridiculous man. All right, Toti's going to pick up that long shot down low. You throw me off. Dezo's going to be up top. We'll see how this 2v2, or now it's going to be a 3v2, actually. PK does have man advantage over here. Now, granted, they are fighting for the M bar. Great shot from Xploidz. That's going to even up the odds a little bit. More importantly, Monkyz and Sumuns also fall. Fire and Ice off to the races. Do they want the domination attempt? They're going for it. Oh, if he hits this, he just missed. A body shot there would have been great.
Yeah, but that was a must-have.
And he doesn't get it. So domination doesn't come through, but they still get away with both power weapons.
I'm sorry, I got scared right there because he could have got the headshot with the sniper, but he actually rotated around. He changed his positioning. Now it looks like this. 2 players like Zeus, those thunderbolts from above. Toti gets another headshot. They hit a body shot. These 2 guys are just raining hell from above and out. Retro in the hands of Monkyz. They're going to create this hill differential, but this is where Pittsburgh, they're going to back out of this hill and attack the neutral, knowing there has to be some players to rotate over to reclaim their home.
One more shot for Toti. Got to make this count. They are baiting it hard. Mind you, Dyslexic also has that MR. He's got one more shot too. And I believe there's going to be a player kind of trying to sneak around on the flank. That's player 5 so that's going to be Dezo. Toti up close, though. Great shots. Help with the Lancer fire. Domination coming through. Fire and Ice. Map point. Series point.
Oh my God. As I said, this is the one situation I didn't think would happen. But to me, that goes to show 2 things. Fire and Ice, like I said, that experience when you reach that grand final, it does something to you. It does something to individual players. It does something to full-on rosters. And things begin to just click out of nowhere. Like I said, when you asked that question about some of these players early on in execution, you can't really count these few years back that these players might not have been the best. Things have changed. The meta has changed. They put something in these players' water where they're just on another level like we haven't seen in years past. So we talk about this debate, the older players versus the newer players. I will tell you right now, and I'll make the bold statement, I don't think Infinity can come back and bang and be a top 4 team.
Let's go.
All right.
I'll say it.
Hey, you said it, Jacob. You threw it out there, man. You've been hitting it hard tonight. I'm not gonna lie. That last statement still. Fire and Ice, 4-3, Jacob. This is their opportunity to take it. Now, it's all about composure at this point in time. The pressure is very real for Pittsburgh Knights. They understand, look, we can come back in this and we can win this, but even so, we still have to win 2 more maps after this, right? We have to be flawless from this point forward. It's not going to be an easy feat by any means. Big battle for Overlook. BK can't feel comfortable in the spot. Monkyz as well. Now you got Xploidz with the M-bar too. We know what he can do with it. He's going to charge it up and try to pop some heads off. Dezo might be the first victim. Just about gives him a haircut. Now their PK is going to rotate around, and Xploidz has a decision to make. Do I get out? Do I stick it? Well, luckily Dyslexic is there for the pickup. Goes back in with the Nasher, picks up 1, tries to go for 2, unable to lock it in, and that M-bar, it's gone.
That was just enough of a distraction for Toti. He was able to get some eliminations. Yes, he does get taken down, but it's not an easy triple cap domination if he didn't get those. And then there'd be more players alive, which basically makes this play possible. Once again, he made players backtrack to eliminate. Man, these up A reaction shots from Fearzly are just deadly, and he doesn't get cleaned up. This is an opportunity here. Are they going to get the revive? No, they do not. Actually, no, they do get the revive. They don't get the chunk over the top, but he finds himself getting eliminated in the end by Dezonide. Monkyz goes down as well late into this round. Fire and Ice are beginning to take over. Maybe a little too soon, but honestly, that's what makes me love this guy. The confidence, the showboating, the no mercy. I used to call myself the most electrifying man in esports entertainment. I might give him the title.
Hey, man, Dyslexic is definitely that guy. And Fire and Ice is feeling it. They know they are about to 3-0 Pittsburgh Knights if PK isn't careful. And that could be a reality very shortly. Fire and Ice all across the map. They've got lanes covered. They can count numbers. I think the big... Oh, Dezo's just going to go ahead. Okay, we missed those. That's fine. Not really, but Sumuns, that was a free elimination on the Sumuns. Like, bottom line, period. You want to dance. You want to show love. That's fine, but then you want to make plays like that?
You just need to make sure that you just focus on the match. Some of these players get a little too carried away, but that's what happens when you're rivals. I talked about this is more than just Fire Knights versus Pittsburgh Knights. This is grudge matches, individuals, full-on rosters. Toti gets another one taken out. Sumuns, Xploidz goes down. The trades back and forth, literally from the very beginning portions of map number 1 to this moment right here. These teams have been putting on a show, an all-out war, a must-needed cap for Raver and PK if they're looking to keep this one close, but it does look like they're fighting over what could be a second hill. This is a must-win battle for Raver as well. He can no longer sit idly by and let this one slip through because it's map and series point for Fire Knights. You're calling it early. Raver backs up. He gets taken down. Dyslexic solidifies the elimination. They solidify the round and solidify the 3-0 sweep.
Who would have thought, ladies and gentlemen, who would have thought that Fire and Ice and PK, the match of the week, would be the only series on main broadcast that would end in the way of 3-0? I know I predicted Fire and Ice to win this, but by no means did I expect them to win at 3-0. Bottom line, period. But Pittsburgh Knights did not bring their A game tonight, whereas Fire and Ice absolutely did. Fire and Ice is looking absolutely incredible. And again, I'm going to keep the narrative going out throughout all of Pro League. Fire and Ice is not happy with second place during the major. They're absolutely not happy with their performance to E United smacked them in the mouth. They destroyed them. It was not close. And Fire and Ice, they're angry for that, and they want redemption, and redemption will come soon enough. But this is where you get your reps in, and this is where you show that you are serious about the next major without question. I love what I'm seeing in Dyslexic, just as confident as ever. You called him the most electrifying man. He played well. Fearzly, he slayed out. Xploidz had plenty of moments. Toti, you know, he played just as well as you expect him to play. I'm very impressed. And now you got to raise the question, Jacob. PK, is their time as the most dominant Latin American team up? I don't know. I have to start questioning it. And the reason why, I'm telling you, during the spring major, you can even see it during pool play, Jacob. Something seemed off. They looked rough.
Yeah, you can definitely see it in Escalation, but I will say, they had a lot going wrong during that major, during Escalation only. This could be an opportunity to kind of find a way to bounce back, figure out what went wrong, and kind of adapt it into your different styles of play. But right now, with those extra modes, I think this is honestly cause for concern. I don't want to speak too early because we know they're still one of the best teams in Gears history, but right now, there's a major cause for concern because this isn't only things that went wrong during the major, even though they placed high. This is now bleeding into the Pro League. This wasn't simple as losing different maps. You lost 3 different game types. 2 of those matches came down to the wire and you let them slip through. So even though I'd say it's cause for concern, it's not a red flag, maybe just code orange.